Hey everybody, Dr. Smith here with the Stone Canyon Eye Show, and in this video I'm combining efforts with Dr. Neal Guymon. He practices up in the state of Idaho, and he has his own YouTube channel as well. He is Dr. EyeGuy is the name of his channel. You should check it out. We actually went to school together, graduated the same year. We're actually roommates in college as well. So we go way back. And in this video, we're going to go over a few different things that are hopefully of interest to you guys. Sometimes physicians have some stories to tell. Obviously, we wouldn't reveal any patient information or anything like that, but we'll be talking about various topics that are just interesting, a little bit different. We're going to have some fun along the way.
So the first question that we want to cover, and this one's kind of a big one, and we get this question, I would say almost daily, at least for me in my office. Either someone is entering into the stage of they're going to start wearing glasses, or maybe they're starting to wear reading glasses. And the big question is, will wearing glasses weaken my eyes? So will it make my prescription worse? Will it make my vision worse? Will I start becoming dependent on glasses? Kind of all in the same realm of questions.
That's
right?
that's a very common question that I also get. And I would say that I get that question mostly from individuals who are farsighted and who are starting to notice that maybe their near vision is starting to go a little bit, or their eyes are getting a little tired toward the end of the day and it's just going a little bit out of focus. When you're farsighted, you have to focus the eyes. You actually have to over focus throughout the day in order to see clear. But if you're lightly farsighted, you can still see clearly all day long until the lens starts hardening a little bit, maybe in the late 30s, early 40s. The near vision starts to go. People notice they need a little bit of help. We let them know that they need some glasses to help relax their eyesight a little bit. And they're worried that if they use glasses and they don't have to work their eyes out, that their eyes will become dependent on that and their muscles will weaken. Is that kind of what you get?
Yeah, exactly. That's probably the biggest group that asks this question. Yeah, it's the same group. They're starting to read. They're starting to notice things are blurry. That we get the common sentence, hey, my arms aren't long enough, when they're holding out the material or their phone. And so then they're that's why they're in the office, is because they can't see, they're strained, they're having headaches. And so either they want to try cheaters like readers, magnifiers that they can get at the store, and maybe they've tried them, but they're kind of worried, okay, is this going to make my eyes worse by doing this if the power is off, or if I start wearing reading glasses, is it going to make my eyes worse? Mm-hmm. I get that question all the time.
And in a sense, they have a pretty good point, because there is a muscle inside the eye, the ciliary muscle, the focusing muscle, that is firing off whenever we as humans look at anything up close. It has to go off in order to focus the lens inside the eye to pull things into focus. And so does sort of make a good point that, if you stop using that muscle as much when you're using plus lenses, and that takes the focus and moves it from far away to up close, that they're not using that muscle as much. They're not over focusing. So does it weaken the muscle? That's the question. They might not understand it to that point, but they know that they're over focusing. They know they have to work their eyes to do it, even to the point of headaches. And so, I get why people ask that question. But at the same time, that lens hardening is part of the normal aging process of the eye. And so for that reason, it's just going to happen anyway. Whether they make their eyes focus without glasses up close and strain the eyes, they're just overworking their eyes anyway, because doing that, over focusing without glasses, is not slowing down the normal changes that the crystalline lens inside the eye goes through, which is hardening. So they're just basically straining their eyes. Would you agree?
Yeah, exactly. So here's kind of the answer that I usually give when they're kind of getting into or presbyopia, or like you said, they're farsighted, they're kind of just having to overfocus their eyes. Is, like if they're asking me, will I become dependent on these glasses? And it's kind of a yes and a no, because people that wear or use the reading glasses, they're going to notice that their vision is clearer. They have less strain, less headaches, less visual demand. And so they're going to notice that their vision is a lot easier. Now, what's going to happen is when they take their glasses off, or they have episodes where they're not going to wear their glasses, they're going to notice more than they used to that, holy cow, like my computer's extra blurry. Things are extra hard to see. Like there's more strain on my eyes. And so there's a little bit of a psychological component that people kind of get used to the vision or the demand with the glasses, where they can actually see better. And so their brain is used to that vision. When they don't wear the glasses, their brain notices the blur more. So even maybe the blur is exactly the same as what they were having before. They just notice, or they realize how good it can be, and so they notice how bad it really is. And so that's where the psychological component. So they kind of get dependent on the glasses, but not necessarily because the eyes are getting worse. It's just they realize how good it can be.
And on top of that, they do become more dependent on the glasses because of the normal changes, the hardening process that the lens is going through as well.
Yeah. And that will happen no matter what.
Right.
Yeah.
And sometimes they go into glasses for the first time. A year or two later down the road, they realize that they can't focus at all without the glasses, that they have to wear them, and they think it's because they started wearing glasses that they can't see as well without glasses, when really just a couple years prior, the lens inside the eye was more flexible and they could focus a little bit up close on their own with strain, but now they can't because a couple more years went by and the lens has just changed a little bit more inside the eye and will continue to change for another decade and a half. And they think it's because they wore their glasses and it weakened the muscle that flexes.
But it would have happened either way.
It would have happened anyway.
Yeah.
But because they're more dependent on their glasses during the time that they first got the glasses, they think it's because of the glasses sometimes.
Yeah. No, okay, that brings up a good point, because people tell me that all the time. They say, well, I started using readers, like last year or 2 years ago, and I'd only have to use it every once in a while, kind of pick it up and like, oh, I need to read this book or something. And then they tell me, but now I can't function without them, or I'm bumping the power up of the readers, and so am I ruining my eyes by using these readers? And the answer is no. That's just what would happen anyway.
Yeah.
I got a funny story about that actually. So I can't remember. Did I tell you this? No,
I don't think so.
About the really like proper lady that came in.
No. So
patient, super proper. If you can imagine Marge Simpson, hairdo, maybe a black turtleneck, cross necklace, but Marge Simpson is just like super proper, hands folded.
Right.
Answering very proper. A, B, yes, great. Just like soft spoken.
Definitely.
So she was saying those exact things. Oh, I can't read. My arms aren't long enough. Just like really soft spoken, super sweet. Really nice. And so I go explaining about the crystalline lens. Hey, the crystalline lens, it's getting harder, it's getting thicker, it's getting less flexible. So now it can't focus or bend like it used to. And all of a sudden, it's like someone like breaks character, and she kind of looks at me in the eyes, and she starts doing this little arm shake. Oh no, I guess I got to tell my husband I'm not as flexible anymore. She like hits me in my shoulder, and then she went right back to being proper, looking at the eye chart.
I didn't hear that. This is the first time I've heard that story.
Caught me off guard.
Exam room humor is classic. It's the best.
Yeah, I don't know if I should like laugh or I don't know. Wasn't expecting that. It just came out of nowhere. Left field.
And this might be a little off the topic as well, but some patients go in and they have cataract surgery. And cataract surgery is basically that crystalline lens that hides right behind the iris. Basically, it clouds up and it's hardened to the point where people can't see up close anymore. And sometimes people are naturally nearsighted before cataract surgery, and they can see up close just fine because they're nearsighted. Far away is blurry without glasses. They go in and have cataract surgery, and sometimes they don't receive the communication very directly that they won't be able to have that natural near vision anymore. that they'll be focused on far away is what the surgeon is trying to do, is correct their distance vision, and they get out of surgery and they're not able to see as well up close. Naturally, it's traded off for clear distance vision, and that can be pretty upsetting for a lot of people. But that has to do with the same part of the eye that we're talking about that hardens and causes people to sometimes believe that they're becoming more reliant on their glasses, when it's really hardening to the point of not being able to see up close at all. And it's going to get cloudy and eventually will become a cataract and need to be replaced out.
A harder topic, I would say, along the same lines of like glasses can make your eyes worse, because this one gets a little bit more complicated. There's more to it, and that's, like when, with kids and myopia, getting nearsighted, and starting off glasses like when you're a teenager, and will that make my kids' eyes worse and everything like that? That gets into a lot more complicated topic, a lot more things to consider with glasses and kids and myopia control. There's different techniques and theories and leading theories out there of prescribing glasses or contacts that can blur their peripheral vision but make their central vision clear, so it kind of keeps their eyes from lengthening. That's what nearsightedness does, is your eyeball lengthens. And that's the idea, is we're trying to slow down the lengthening, the axial length of the eye. That gets trickier. So, so this might be a hard question, and we can cut this out, but but this might be a hard question, is, what if a parent, is in the exam, and you're seeing their kid, and they are nearsighted, maybe just a little nearsighted, not bad, but they can't see the board at school, and you're like, hey, glasses will definitely make their vision better, and the parent asks you, okay, if I start wearing glasses, is it going to make my kid's eyes worse? What do you say?
There's quite a lot that goes through the mind of a parent when you recommend glasses for their child for the very first time. Some of it might be trust, like, do I trust this young looking doctor? Do I trust this doctor in general? Do they just want my money? Do they just want me to go buy glasses? Do they really need them? I don't feel like my kid has problems seeing at all. There's the trust thing, and then there's also, wow, you're using this orthotic device on my child for the first time. That's going to change the way they see. It's going to change the way their eye works with their brain, and how their vision is for the rest of their life. Do I really want to change the way my child sees right now? Especially if they haven't complained much about it. But yeah, if they're having trouble seeing the board at school, we find that they're nearsighted, recommend glasses. Parents a little bit concerned about whether or not it's going to weaken their eyes. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
You're asking?
Like, is this going to make my eyes worse?
Yeah.
Like, is he going to come back next year? And
right.
Now he's like, I got to wear glasses all the time. And
yeah. Usually the more common answer to that is yes, the vision will get worse a year from now, most likely, because if a child becomes specifically nearsighted for their very first time, you catch a 1 diopter nearsighted, something like that, and let's say they're anywhere from 8 to 12 years of age, their vision will be most likely worse the next year. If they're taking off and becoming nearsighted, they're going to continue, most likely, especially their early teenage years and throughout the remaining part of their teenage years, becoming more nearsighted until it eventually slows down. But it's not due to the glasses themselves. It's just due to the length of the eye changing and causing that. But definitely not due to the glasses. The glasses are just refocusing the light that is out of focus inside the eye and refocusing it with a minus lens, so the light is focused on the retina instead of in the center of the eye with nearsightedness. But definitely the eyes are going to get worse, or very high chance that individual's eyes are going to get worse by the following year, just due to normal changes. That's just how the human body works when we're young. I'm nearsighted myself. I'm wearing contacts right now, but half the time you'll see me in my videos, I'm wearing my glasses. And that happened to me as well. When I was in 4th grade, I found out I needed glasses, and I had that went and got them, and I put my glasses on. I saw leaves on trees. And every year after that, I could feel my eyes getting worse. And I knew I needed to go in because I had that clarity, and my vision tanked. And here I am, kind of a moderate to high myope. In other words, I'm nearsighted is what that means. My vision's blurry for far away unless I wear glasses or contacts. It's very good for near without glasses or contacts, but it's very blurry for far. So
yeah, so you're saying, and that's pretty much kind of what I say, you're saying that the vision would do that even if the child didn't wear any glasses at all, right?
Yeah.
You know, whether it's like genetics or environment or, you know, what have you. Mm-hmm. So I would say that probably the longer I've practiced, the more, even though I started off careful, but I feel like I've become more careful or more aggressive or conservative, depending on how you look at it, of prescribing glasses to children. So specifically, if we're noticing that this child is becoming more nearsighted, and maybe it's like going at a faster rate than we think, you know, whether like 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, like in those ages, then I do kind of watch them more closely. You know, we start talking about myopia control, whether it's, you know, contacts or trying glasses or, you know, kind of whatever method there is out there. But, you know, depending on what, you know, the patient and the parent decides and everything. But I feel like I've gotten a little bit more careful and more watchful to not over minus the child. But it's a fine balance. You don't want to, like, a lot of people will argue saying, hey, don't ever get that kid's glasses, you know, just because it's going to make his eyes worse. But then you're leaving that kid just blurry, you know, like having a hard time seeing the world, seeing the board. They can suffer at school and everything. So there's like that fine balance. I mean, I'm definitely not in the camp of like, don't even give them glasses. And there's some people that say that, like, if you give them glasses, eyes are going to get worse. And so they say, don't do it. And I am not in that camp. That's harsh. And I feel like you would purposely put the kid behind.
And a lot of times as eye care providers, and you probably know this as well, Dr. Guymon, but we're put in the position of deciding when a child needs glasses, when they might just have the smallest amount of prescription there. Mm-hmm. What is that threshold of when they actually need glasses to where focusing their vision will make a difference in their life, in their performance at school, with their study habits, with their reading stamina? Sometimes there's a light prescription there, and myself, I'll say, you know what? This would take their 20/20 and make it into a sharper 20/20. So at this point, I think we're okay probably holding off on glasses. Yeah. It's not going to affect their performance in sports. They'll still be able to see the board, the smart screen in the back of the classroom. But if it was one click higher than that, and there was one click of astigmatism in there, you know what? Yeah. At this point, they're going to have to sit in the middle of the classroom to see the board, probably, sharply. And other things are going to start to be affected a little bit. And then maybe now is the time to go ahead and get glasses. And so we have to kind of make that judgment there. And then if a child is, instead of being a little nearsighted, they're a little farsighted, and they can focus through some of their prescription due to the natural characteristics of just being farsighted,
right?
Then we have to base it on symptoms at that point. Are they getting headaches? One of the number one symptoms of uncorrected farsightedness in children. Do they have occasional near blur? And we're just forced to make those choices on when they actually should get them. And sometimes it comes down to their symptoms.
So bottom line, glasses, whether it's for reading glasses or a child, won't make the eyes worse, but we definitely want to be careful when and what we prescribe, especially in children. But yeah, that kind of worry of, oh man, this is going to make my eyes worse and dependent on glasses, should be not a big worry, at least as big as it is.
I agree. Glasses are not going to make the eyes weak. It's not going to make the vision worse by wearing glasses or make someone more dependent on wearing them. That's going to happen anyway, no matter what. And on the flip side, I've had parents ask, if they don't get the glasses, will their vision get worse? Have you got that?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And
okay.
that's flip side.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so in which case, if they don't get the glasses, not getting the glasses won't make it worse, but it's going to continue to probably get worse if they need glasses at that age, between the ages of 8 to 12 or in the teenage years. If it's starting to get worse, it will continue to get worse while they're growing. But not getting glasses won't make the eyes worse. It'll just affect their performance and cause eye strain, unnecessary eye strain, right?
Yep. Yeah, exactly.
So that was part 1 in our mini-series titled Eye Doctor's Secrets. Make sure if you like the content, hit that like button for us. We'd sure love to know if you liked the video. And also visit the comment section down below if you have any questions. Seriously, some of the things that we talked about may have been a little bit difficult to understand. So leave a comment below with any questions, and feel free to use DrEyeGuy's handle, which I will leave in the description, to tag him and tag myself specifically, or both of us, in that comment, so we can all get into a conversation in the comment section below if you have any questions. Part 2 will be on Dr. Guymon's channel, all about ways to treat styes and how to get rid of those, which will include my ultimate at-home remedy that I'll share in that video on how to get rid of those annoying styes. Make sure and check the description below for a link to the full playlist for this mini-series, and I'll see you in the next video.